In the pale stillness of dawn, Maya Carter rose, as Akshiguan and as a ritual. The alarm broke the quiet not with a wakeful groan, but with a steady rhythm that she recognized as an old companion, a silent partner in her days. Today was no different. Today and every day, she rose without complaint, without the wasted breath of groaning, a habit she had honed like a precious skill, a guardian against the enemy of fatigue. The apartment, simple and lived in, was hushed but for the soft chorus of its routines. The hum of the refrigerator, steady and unassuming, was a comforting civic song, and the distant, tired sound of a bus pulling to a stop outside gave her a sense of being part of the world, even if the world itself seemed asleep. She could feel the dawn seeping into the room, light whispers from the edges of night, the hours awakening but barely. Maya lay still for a moment, as if every morning were a chance to hold on to the last fragments of darkness. Her gaze drifted to the faint crack. The gray light of early morning found Maya in the quiet intimacy of her home. She moved with the practiced rhythm of habit, pulling on the faded jeans, the soft sweater that clung to her form with a kind of familiarity, and the worn jacket that had accompanied her through 5 winters of rain and snow. Each article of clothing seemed to carry a story, a bit of warmth and a whisper of memories from the years they had shared. In the dimly lit kitchen, the stillness of dawn gave way to the steady hum of life as she set to work. Maya's hands worked methodically as she turned on the coffee maker, its machine-like churning a soothing counterpoint to the quiet of the house. She then carefully assembled Ethan's lunch, layering each item with care and intention: 2 slices of bread slathered with creamy peanut butter and sharp, tangy jelly, a generous serving of apple slices that would keep him full and happy, and a granola bar she had picked up in bulk. It was an old favorite, a simple choice. The morning air was tentative, carrying the faint clamor of the city awakening. It was one of those days where the sun peeked through the clouds like a shy child, casting a reluctant light over the streets below. Maya stood at the kitchen door, listening as the scones she'd baked for the afternoon bonded the kitchen with their warm aroma. Her fingers traced the worn edge of the spoon, a habit born of years spent frosting cakes for little birthdays or big celebrations. "Oh." He nodded, his voice pitched low, as though trying to cloak his words in gravity. "That's okay. Mrs. Alvarez said I can stay at her place after school." Maya smiled, but the curve of her lips didn't quite reach her eyes. "You sure you don't mind?" she said, her tone laced with a quiet plea. He shrugged, his gaze drifting to the window where the world turned slowly gray to silver. "You're saving the world or something, right?" Her lips twitched, a small, soft laugh. "Something like that." In truth, Maya's days in the dim, quiet moments before the world awoke, Maya leaned against a bus stop bench, her breaths curling lightly in the air. She wore a smile, though it was small, a thread of warmth meant for another. The early morning chill did little to cool the weight on her shoulders, but she carried it like it was no more than a hospital bag, a necessary part of life's rhythm. A bus was due in exactly 6 minutes, as certain as the sunrise, but she didn't look at her watch. Instead, her gaze followed the murmuring steps of a little boy closing the distance between them. "Breakfast ready?" His voice was steady, not yet the tremble of fatigue at its limit. She swallowed past a lump and said, "You're hungry. Let's go." Inside the bus, he wedged himself into the chair, oblivious to her watchful eye, the way she scanned the aisles for the easiest path home. She sat across from him, her bag heavy on her lap, the weight of life's little secrets tucked inside. There was no map in her mind for Dira. She offered reassurance even when she didn't know how things would turn out. At lunch, she ate at her desk. Her coworker Denise leaned over the divider. "You ever take a break?" Maya smiled. "I'll rest when I'm rich." Denise snorted. "Girl, if that's the plan, we're both in trouble." They shared a laugh, brief but real. Around 3 p.m., Maya's phone buzzed. A message from Ethan. "Mrs. Alvarez made cookies. I saved you one." Her chest tightened with love so sudden it almost hurt. That night, after dinner and homework and a story read aloud in silly voices, Ethan fell asleep with his head on her shoulder. Maya stayed still, afraid to disturb him, breathing in the scent of his shampoo and crayons and something uniquely him. She thought, not for the first time, about how close she'd come to losing all of this. 7 years ago, she'd been 24 and pregnant and certain she wasn't strong enough. Ethan's father, Lucas, had said all the right things at first, then fewer.